Hey guys, here at Relish, we're all about dishing out the relationship advice. So today, I want to talk about something called the anxious attachment type. I'm Trisha Bowman. I'm a certified life and relationship coach here at Relish. And remember, if you want more great content, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share our videos. And remember, we love your comments, so please share all your thoughts. Okay, let's jump right into today's topic about the anxious attachment type. Let me first give you a general idea about what attachment types are and where they came from. This idea of attachment types came from how infants would first react when separated from their parents. And over time, this theory has been expanded in a way to help explain how adults attach in their relationships. So according to this attachment theory, there are 4 primary different types that most of us fall into. So those are secure, avoidant, anxious, and disorganized attachment. So to understand them a bit more clearly, let me give you a brief rundown of all 4 types before we get into more about the anxious attachment type. So the first one we have is called secure attachment. So that's what most of us would consider to be the healthiest form of attachment, where someone's able to connect with their partner on a really deeply emotional level, but they're not too reliant on their partner or the relationship for feelings of their own self-worth and importance, okay? So the other 3 attachment types are what we consider to be on the scale of more of an insecure attachment type. So the first one, avoidant attachment, is usually someone who puts their independence and freedom over the idea of having like a real deep emotional connection. They're the ones that they avoid getting too close to other people, and they may feel uncomfortable with the idea of having to rely on somebody else to meet their needs. So they are the counter opposite for the next attachment type, which is the anxious attachment type. That anxious attachment, it can usually be spotted because of their lack of independence. They have lots of insecurity, and they have a real deep desire to always be close to their partner. Oftentimes they're the ones who are always worrying about being rejected and abandonment and need constant reassurance. And I'm gonna give more about this one after we share the final attachment type, because this is the one we're gonna dive into more today. So the last one I wanted to give you a brief idea about is called disorganized attachment, or also known as what we call fearful avoidant attachment. So this is kind of a combination of both anxious and avoidant types. They still crave the emotional closeness with others, but oftentimes due to their need for validation, okay, so this is due to their need for validation, they also have deep fears of abandonment. So these can clash with their needs, and it often results in really erratic and disorganized behavior. All right. Now, before I dive in, I want to remind you that these are all just ideas based on how people connect in relationships, okay? And I want you to use these as tools to help you to understand yourself or your partner. So, and remember, you can always be at different spectrums of these styles, so take what resonates with you from these theories and ideas and apply them in a way that you think will be helpful. Okay, how do you identify yourself or your partner as an anxious attachment type? How will you navigate that as a couple? Okay, let's start with step 1. Step 1 is just really being aware that that's what you are, that you have an anxious attachment type. That will help you just alone in that gain more power and confidence and being able to learn some skills to be able to work with that. So when you're dealing with someone who has an unaware insecure attachment type, it often puts a lot of undue pressure on the relationship, puts a lot of pressure on the partner to feel like they have to constantly validate their feelings towards the person with that, or towards you if that's you, and the relationship. If it's left unaddressed, the insecure attachment type can also be an ultimate reason why the relationship doesn't work out. So how would you know if you are that, or what it would look like, what would it feel like if you were an anxious attachment type? All right, you might feel insecure about the status of your relationship, meaning that you're like constantly questioning if your partner really likes you, wondering if they're looking for reasons to break up with you. You may also read too much into your partner's emotions and take everything like really personally. You take their behavior personally. You can probably be a little bit controlling towards your partner, requiring them to do things to make you feel more secure in the relationship. And maybe these things are out of character for who they are. So an idea of that would be that, you want them to send you a good morning and a good night text, and it's a requirement for the relationship. And that might not be something that they like to do, all right? There's also a lot of jealousy and heightened emotions, which can help you lead reasons for you to look for fights. So very often you may be finding yourself expecting for your partner to leave because you're not able to really see your self-worth in the relationship. And it'll oftentimes leave you feeling exhausted from constantly feeling insecure and anxious in your relationship. But the good news is, by addressing it and understanding your attachment style, it can help you improve the ways that you connect and you feel and the ways you interact with each other. Okay, now what if you're on the other side and your partner has what looks to be an anxious attachment type? You might be aware of some of these behaviors. You might see these things already happening in what I just mentioned. You may oftentimes perceive them as clingy, and they may require constant assurance from you about your feelings and about your commitment to the relationship. You may also notice that they start to adopt a lot of your own habits and interests in an attempt to spend more time, or sometimes all of your time together. They may also seem to always agree with you. They seem like a form of a people pleasing. They also sometimes may be combative, often lashing out if they feel threatened. So even if they're not normally an aggressive type, they may seem to be overly emotional, which oftentimes can lead to conflict and many difficulties knowing, because they don't know how they feel, and it results in their inability to accept responsibility for their fault in the relationship. So what do you do about this? First thing first, have an open dialogue about the types of things that cause your partner this anxiety. But you want to also make sure you're creating boundaries about what kind of behaviors are acceptable and okay in the relationship for you both. So creating boundaries will help you, as the person on the other side, give the needed space from this constant reassuring your partner. It also can help them feel more comfortable and less anxious about doing normal things like having different hobbies from you or spending time apart, having their own group of friends. It's also really important to show your anxious partner affection and love. So by showing that you're dedicated to your partner and that you love them, it will help reduce their fears of rejection and abandonment. How about ideas to send a cute text, plan a date night, some intimate time together, and frequent compliments can help to alleviate the anxiety that this attachment type has around these things. Okay, while these are all potential solutions, remember it may be necessary to refer your partner to a therapist, and you can always talk to one of our Relish coaches to help work on ways of creating new behaviors and habits and grabbing some new tools to be able to communicate and work through this. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you like it. And if you'd like your relationship to become stronger, healthier, happier, and you want to understand more about you and your partner's attachment types, we'd love for you to download Relish and try it for free. So we got it free, just click on the link right below. I'd love to have comments, suggestions, thoughts, anything you'd like to have in the comments below. So please subscribe, like, share, because I know you're going to love Relish and all the great content, lessons, quizzes, and the coaches that are on our team. So hope to see you over in Relish.